Hello everyone, Blue Star Saber here once again for another One Piece chapter review, chapter 1042. The Victor needs no epit for all that stuff. Let's see, I figured I'd try and do this chapter just before the next one comes officially out, so I don't go a chapter behind like I was last week. But anyway, before we begin the chapter, I'm just going to continue with Gentleman 66 An Emotionless Excursion, Volume 6. Take Niji and Yonji to Whole Cake Island. As we see Oven with the Fizumoki prison book in his holding with one of his arms, going to where Broly is in the middle world, while Pudding looks away, pouting from what she just did from beating up the bros and all that stuff, with Oven staring on, confused by her actions. While Broly is waiting for Oven to take the two prison siblings into the mirror and all that stuff. So anyway, we got a confirmation that, yeah, Broly did stay on the island. And then again, that's probably most likely to probably also help take care of Katakuri. And because, well, she's a huge part of their security on that island. But yeah. I do wonder if Oven will suspect Pudding's treachery or not, but who knows? But clearly Pudding is still angry at Sanji's siblings. Anyway, we cut to the first Betsy basement level. It's the actual chapter where we see Drake stabbing a CP0 agent through the chest, with him asking him to explain himself, though he didn't telling that this is what his justice tells him to. As the CP0 agent says how he's jealous of Drake before taking him out with the finger point attack, knocking him out. So let's see, and all that stuff. As we cut to the Flower Capital, where everyone's writing down their wishes, and we see a Toko, I think. Let's see, everyone lifting their lanterns up to the sky, hoping that everyone will see their wish. As we cut to the rooftop on top of Omegashima, where we see Luffy's gear for Snake Man repeatedly beating Kaido and all that stuff. Eventually he blocks it with his club, but still gets beaten up regardless. As let's see, as Luffy's able to bend the trajectory of his attacks and all that stuff, which kind of thinks how impossible it is. And as you can see, it's really late because I am yawning. So after this, I'll probably have to go to bed. But yeah, Kaido continues to get completely getting beaten up, where he says "Ow, it hurts," and he appears to be in what calls a drunken beggar, or I think in some cases, depending on which translation, flat mode, as he does appear to be. Stop it, you! With Luffy annoyed that Kaido is still drunk. Though Kaido ends up eventually saying to Luffy that says not to assume that he's the only one who can see the future. As Kaido decides that he tries to copy Luffy. He ends up turning into his dragon form and is able to dodge his attacks due to probably seeing into the future like Luffy does with his Hokaboshi Haku, or I've forgotten the correct term for it, but yeah, let's see, as Kaido says, "Ooh, I've copied a move like this," as he's now in his apparently drunken thief mode. Anyway, Kaido ends up going to bite Luffy, ends up swallowing him as Luffy gets angry at eating him before he spits him out to use his blast breath to, let's see, blow Luffy down a bit, which the blast goes all the way down to Akashima as we see Yamato and all that stuff. Let's see, narrowly dodging it. Anyway, as Luffy looks like he's about to fall and all that stuff, ends up changing to the more bounce man mode, his more stronger, let's see, muscular version, of course, as we all know, in order to fly back up and reach Kaido. With him complaining about how Luffy's coming back. The Luffy has no idea how many more minutes left he has with his left in this form, as this will be his final Gear 4, so there's no time to waste, as, for him, losing is not an option. With Kaido commenting about Luffy seems rather demanding, though it says, As Luffy makes his speech about as long as Kaido's around, the people of Wano won't be free to get to have food or drink clean water and all that stuff. Kaido, as Luffy is trying to do a King Kong gum, from my guessing. Kaido's like how Luffy is free to take whoever side he wish, but ends up telling Luffy that those people from Wano have accepted their fate long ago, defeating their hearts long ago. Be it the weaklings who shun violent casualties, or the fools who found glory, honor, and death, and all that stuff. As he has seen plenty of those losers vanquished here and there, and they all have their excuses. Though Luffy tells him to shut up, as he believes the samurai are strong. Kaido then goes on about how, whether being strong or stubborn, the victor needs no effort to so he says, so what is Luffy? Someone who's strong or someone who's stubborn, or just, I don't know, something like that. As Luffy ends up using the over Kong gun, so it's a King Kong gun, but a much more powerful form, as he ends up punching Kaido underneath his chin and all that stuff. Let's see, as it causes him to crash land. As Luffy attempts to use, as he uses Gear 4 to, knock him out while he can still use it. However, Kaido cancels with a Thunder Below and hits Luffy, which you can tell he feels the pain, but he's trying to desperately hold on to his Gear 4. As Kaido has now turned into his bloodthirsty drunk mode, as you can see here, he's smiling evil and maniacally. It's like, like a sort of, mustache villain from a Saturday morning cartoon. Let's see, as Luffy prepares to try and do one more hit against Kaido, and if it doesn't work, he will lose. He's about to use a Gum Gum attack as Kaido's preparing for his next attack, getting his weapon and ready and all that stuff, and telling him how he should Luffy to show him what he's got, as he's about to use a move called Thunder Below, and Luffy is using a move called Over. However, just as he's about to declare his attack, the CP0 agent from before arrives around him and taps his shoulder, arrives right behind Luffy and tapping his shoulder. Using the move with Luffy noticed, and him using the move apparently called Iron Body to not only distract but seems to damage Luffy, or at least make him lose focus. As Kaido notices CP0, and then also flashes back to when that member of Orochi's family who had Bon Clay's Devil Fruit, which he used the Momo hostage transformed into Momo to make him think that he was his son was a hostage for Oden, as he's distracted, and Luffy's distracted in a similar way from his facial thing. As Kaido ends up whacking Luffy as the CP0 agent dodges with a Thunder Barrage straight down, bashing him and all that stuff. As you can see in Kaido's eyes, as he is shocked by and he maybe even traumatized that this is once again happening, as Luffy is unconscious, as the CP0 looks on, ending the chapter in this cliffhanger. Oh boy, now, wow, that was a quick summary for me, at least usually the normal, but boy, what a chapter. For most part, it was mostly Luffy versus Kaido, but before we get into that, we'll get to the bit in the beginning where Drake has managed to, at first think Drake has managed to take out the CP0 agent for good by stabbing in the chest, only for him to survive the wound thing and then knock Drake out. So Drake is probably one of the few good guys, if you will, on Wano to have lost his fight, and that had some consequences down the line, as we saw at the end of this chapter. Now, granted, I do find it interesting how the CP0 agent ended up asking Drake why he's doing this, because since technically they're on the same side, though Drake says to him that he's following his own sense of justice, and the CP0 agent is envious of him. It's quite interesting because from what we can tell, from what we've seen of this guy before, He's followed the world government, or particularly the Celestial Dragons' orders to the letter, and he had no qualms about it before. But it seems here he seems to be a little bit. He's shown a sense of jealousy with Drake, as he's able to follow his own sense of justice, while he can never follow whatever he was. Because in a sense, he must always do what the world nobles say. He can never defy them, even if he personally disagrees with them. Heck, he even seemed reluctant in the last chapter to go and interfere in Kaido and Luffy's fight and should try and eliminate Luffy because, well, he doesn't want to get in the way of that fight because he could end up dying in the result of it if he's not careful and all that stuff. So, it's and all that stuff, though. Drake, this is also a bit tragic for Drake, as he tried to make sure at least try and do this one thing of taking this guy out, but he failed to do so. Anyway, it's nice to kind of see the Flower Capital residents, including Toko, a bit to try and seeing them lift up the lantern. So I assume that we're getting close and closer to when they probably find out that an island is about to crash down on them and all that stuff, and you can probably see them all panicking. Though, so who knows? Maybe the wish has come true and all that stuff. But anyway, to the main topic of the fight: Luffy versus Kaido, and Kaido. And I do like how we see follow up from the last chapter with the Hydra attack that Kaido's getting quite the beating, and him questioning like, okay, how is this possible? The way the rubber's bending and all that stuff. I definitely found his drunken flirty mode to be like, you just shut up, as he's pointing a finger and all that stuff. And Luffy is still annoyed, like, you're still drunk. You're like. This is probably even funnier than Lee's drunken fist, like I probably said last time. I know it's been a while since I've recall what I said from my last review, but I do like how Kaido decides in a sort of thieving drunken mode, ends up revealing that he can also use the advanced observation hockey to see the future, and that allows him to take a turn the tide a bit of Luffy for a bit. And I do like how it seems like Kaido, who is a dragon, has finally bit Luffy and also ate him, if you will, even if it was only briefly, just to spit him out and then use like a dragon breath directly at Luffy. It's like, that's got to hurt, given how it goes all the way down to the bottom of Omigashima. I do like how Luffy ends up switching from like Snake Man to like Bounce Man when the situation calls for it, as Bounce Man, he needs to fly and all that stuff and all that. And it's interesting how he only has like a few minutes left of this technique. Let's see. And it's his final Gear 4. As he's determined to make sure that he cannot lose this fight, as if he doesn't finish it now, he won't be able to finish it on his terms. And especially for the people of especially if that means helping the people of Wano get like food and clean water to drink. Though it's interesting that Kaido has a bit of a moral moral debate about his might makes right kind of, I suppose, philosophy about how those people of Wano have accepted had long since accepted defeat in their hearts due to either being too afraid to fight or rather die by glory, if you will, and all that stuff, like a samurai, die like an honorable samurai and all that stuff. But Luffy disagrees, saying that they're strong, though. Kaido, we see a bit of his own beliefs here about how it doesn't matter if you're strong or stubborn. The victor needs no effort or any sort of like morals to, or hold on, let me just the quality or attribute to regard to their characteristic let's see hold on, let me just rephrase that. Sorry. Strong or stubborn, the victor needs no effort. Let's see. It says it doesn't really matter about your titles and all, like whether or not you're about and all that stuff, or your morals and all that stuff. Just make sure I might be phrasing it wrong, sorry. But let's see. It doesn't matter about, let's see, your moral code or... Why am I doing this to myself? Sorry. It doesn't matter about your attribute. Let's see, you gotta, let's see, decide for yourself and all that stuff. As Luffy and, let's see, as I do like how Luffy is able to land a powerful blow at him in this point. Though Kaido, of course, countering back and then getting to his bloodthirsty mode. I like how wicked he looks, cartoonishly evil, like I mentioned a bit earlier. But anyway, I like how Luffy's at this point, like, final attack, about to do it, but then he gets interrupted, and that's just like, and I do like how Kaido is like, no, not again, not again, as he gets a sort of flashback to how just as his fight with Oden was getting good, someone interrupted it with a distraction as Luffy looks around similar way. And just as he's about to do his Kaido's final attack on Luffy, he's like, you can just clearly tell how, no, I didn't want this to win like this, not again, because it seems like despite Kaido, despite Kaido's ruthless nature and all that stuff, he does seem to have a code of honor about like how if he's fighting a really strong opponent, one that can actually go toe to toe with him, he wants to win his way without like distractions or someone getting in his way, and the CP0 agent has done that. So Luffy appears to be knocked out and defeated for the third time, which in many ways is quite the achievement for Kaido, because I don't think any opponent has defeated Luffy 3 times in a row. Crocodile came close with 2 in a row, but this is a first. And this not only adds suspense to the Dritzy arc, as now it's like this is probably something that no one was really expecting. Luffy to lose a third. Well, actually, I think people were expecting Luffy. Well, actually, I think, let's see, to lose a third time, because I think many thought with the group battle with the worst generation against the 2 Yonko, and that split to smaller battles. Let's see, people thought like, okay, that's Luffy's second defeat and ends of Act 3 and going to Act 4 and all that stuff, but that ended up being skipped, it seems, and it's just Act 3 and then Act 4 is the epilogue. I think many people pretty much figured that Luffy would probably end up winning, the third bout, because that's how he usually ends up doing it, but instead he lost. And now this raises the stakes, as many of the allies were Straw Hats and allies and all that stuff were counting on Luffy to win. But now Kaido, there's no one for no one to stop Kaido, so they probably will be crushed. The morale will probably be broken more than anything than before. As it was briefly when it looked like Kaido lost until Momonosuke said, like, Luffy's still about and all that stuff. But one thing is clear. I'm pretty certain that Kaido is going to try and kill that CP0 agent, as that agent knows that was probably going to happen once, he interferes in this fight, as Kaido does not like interference in this fight. Overall, it's a great chapter. It's pretty much a 1v1, very quick chapter as well. But let's see, it's not like the earlier, let's see, all focus was the 2 Yonko versus the worst generation, or even that one bit of the Luffy versus Katakuri fight. But it's a pretty close call, and in many ways, it is kind of actually similar to the Katakuri versus Luffy fight, as there's an interruption that someone as I'm trying to remember her name. Oh yeah, Flampy used the poison needle to distract Luffy, damaging him with Katakuri then doing an attack by mistake. Let's see, fatal blow by mistake, and not realizing that Luffy got sabotaged. Dishonored, which not how he wanted to win, and then he himself stabbed himself to even the playing field and then treated Luffy as an equal. However, this is not going to be the case, as it seems Luffy is knocked out, at least for the time being. And Kaido will probably be furious the fact that, once again, a fight he enjoyed was interrupted. overall, I think I'll give this chapter a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. We got Drake was defeated, and we got a sense of like a bit of this character for like the CP0 agent about how he was envious of his justice for him able to follow his own sense of justice, and the fight with Luffy and Kaido, and then let's see, with a shocking twist of Luffy being defeated due to the CP0 agent intervening and raising the stakes as now the one person that can take on Kaido has been defeated. Though I think Luffy will come back, of course, and see, and then face Kaido and all that stuff and defeat him. But yeah, it seems like 4 times the charm for Kaido at least. But heck, you know what they say. Land or sea, no one can beat Kaido 101. Though I still think Luffy's going to try and find a way to do that with that record. Anyway, overall, I'm Blue Star Saber, signing off. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time for my next One Piece review, and goodbye.